Hey everybody, CreamCrazy here, and welcome on this Sunday, the 5th of February, to another wrestling rant. Now, I will stress at this point, this one might be a lot shorter than the other ones I've done in the past, because you all are now used to me doing, what now, 30-minute vids. Now, you may always notice that they may not always go that long. So, some people, yeah, Awesome Leopard, I'm not ill. If I do a shorter vid. So if you think anything goes shorter, please don't panic, as the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy once said. If you haven't seen any of my videos before, go check them out up there in that tab. And if you haven't, click that subscribe button already. I appreciate your support. And at any point, if you want to comment on anything I've said, there is a comment section down there. Use it. Now this video, I didn't actually have anything planned for this rant, to be honest. I was really worried last week after I did my, what did I do last week? Oh yeah, I did my Royal Rumble stuff, I think. Yes, I did. The Royal Rumble results and stuff. I was worried, what do I do? And I was in the process of getting Q&A questions in. And I was given a question by a guy called Super WWE Fan 99. And he asked me, how would I book a CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan feud? And I was really thinking that would make a decent, short but decent video. And I thought, okay, I can go along with that. And then, the minute I said, okay, I'm going to make it a video, that'll be fantastic, I then find out on Raw this week that Punk and Bryan are in a match. There is no better timing for a video like this. There is no better timing. Because it's impeccable that I put this idea, the first ever requested video topic, well, that's been put into actual video form, that a match comes up like that. And I watched it, and it was a pretty good match for what it was on Raw. But then, people will say, and I agree with them, that these two guys, Punk and Bryan, could easily do over 25 minutes plus. And here is where I get to the point where I'm wondering, how would I book a feud of this nature? Because these two guys are, I would say, wrestlers who gimmicks don't really suit. And that's something that I had to put into effect, because sometimes you can look at some great wrestlers over the years, ridiculously good wrestlers, in the case of Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, Randy Savage, Ricky Steamboat, Ric Flair, so many Ricks and R's there, holy shit, Triple H, even Stone Cold can put on a good match when he needs to, and you look, and Chris Jericho, of course, as well, and you think, those guys, majority, they all had gimmicks. Apart from, I'd say, Benoit, who basically went out there, tore you apart, and that was it. I mean, Kurt Angle, his gimmick was being the 1996 Patriot Olympian, you know? Who believes he's better than everyone else. Simple. Fuck it, Brock Lesnar was just a complete monster, and he could fit into that category I've just mentioned pretty bloody well. So, it makes the fact that these two guys, sure, Punk has had gimmicks in the past, but he's the straight-edge savior. That's obviously the only aspect of his character you could work on. Bryan hasn't really got a character. That's the thing. He's basically just an elongated version of himself, much like how Punk is represented. And when trying to build a feud up, I tried to think of a way that this thing could bloody start. And I wasn't entirely sure. Because you see these guys with such... they're basically just themselves, that you can't really make anything out of that. You can't go down the simple professional wrestling mantra. You kind of only get settled with the idea of a battle of one-upsmanship. Now, I know it's been done to death before, but in my opinion, it has to be something done right. And if it hasn't, it's been done right before, in Angle and Benoit saying, I'm better than you, or Shawn Michaels and Undertaker saying, that I need to end your streak because I prove I'm better than the best. Simple. Battles of one-upsmanship have been done for years, but I think in this case, is there any way you could take the battle of one-upsmanship and crank it up a notch? In my opinion, I think I found one. You see, Now, they were on Raw this past week as two champions, two major champions. Now, if we book this a few years down the line, we have Punk on his 8th title reign, probably maybe 7th or 8th, possibly. We then have Bryan, I believe, will be his 2nd, because I don't think he'll be given another chance for a while until he builds his character up hugely. And we think that these two guys, they are good friends, and it's often rivalries between friends that tend to become the most bitter. Look at Triple H, Shawn Michaels for a bloody example. And you look at those two and they say to each other, I can prove I'm better than you. Is there any other way you could do it? They go around and win every single championship that they can on their brand to stake authority over the other and legitimacy in the wrestling world. Seems okay. They could then go out each week bragging to each other, yeah, I got this US championship here, what the hell have you got? Oh, you just got the WWE Championship. Oh, how brilliant. You know, I'm amazing. You thought you were an amazing wrestler. Well, you know what? You got to win more of these to prove you're better than me. And they just go at it, winning championships wherever they can, and people will go along every now and again on either show, trying to stop them, failing but sometimes succeeding to elongate sub-feuds between it. Then it comes to a point where I feel they need to step it up a notch even further. Because I remember the fact that Kurt Angle held the TNA and IGWP championship at the same time. Jeff Jarrett held the AAA championship, as well as being TNA's owner and at one point TNA champion. They can hold championships from different promotions, right? Now I was wondering, these two guys are internationally renowned. They've been all over the world doing wrestling. Hell, why not have them go and basically invade other promotions, take the championships, and run all the way back? Now, that would be something to prove that WWE is a big giant conglomerate who could technically do what they want to do without owning intellectual property rights. So that would work out pretty well. But then I wonder, if they had all these championships and they were just continuously going on saying, yeah, we're that good, we are that good, you then wonder what would they do to basically get into each other's heads. Well, maybe if Daniel Bryan loses a match, Punk can come out and say, ha! You know what there, guys? That is Daniel Bryan's one weakness. And they can just pick at him, all his necessities, all of his flaws. And then Punk could get screwed the next week on Raw to intensify this big thing. And it can happen over the course of an entire year. It can go from the start of the year to the end, and it could go on for ages in a battle of one-upsmanship. They would probably run out of ideas to make it fresh. They would even have to resort to the original stylings of professional wrestling storytelling by basically having them ruin each other's lives in the process to prove, look, I'm even better in your home life. And basically make their lives a living hell on every level without going too far. It's selfishness, it's egotistical, and for these two, they could pull it off bloody well on the mic. And then here's where I get to my point that I was thinking of earlier. That it would have to start at a good point in the year. So if it started in June, maybe a bit earlier than that, May-ish time, April, just after WrestleMania, for instance. And like I said, all won all the championships, they're going well, they may have lost a few, but they've regained them. And even at this point, I love this idea that I had, that they even reactivate old WWE-sanctioned championships just to basically say they've held it. Could bring some prestige back to older championships and give you more of an idea of which ones they want to keep round. Could be awesome to bring the European Championship back. Could be awesome to bring the Cruiserweight Championship back basically in Bryan's case, and bring back all these belts. Say, yeah, you ain't got this. I've got this. I'm in the history books. It would work out so well, just to basically get in your mind that, oh my god, these guys are taking over. And then we get to the point where maybe one of them beforehand has already won Money in the Bank. We know both of them already have, so they have that on their resume. No need to win it again. One of them wins the King of the Ring. Feasible enough, that's quite giant. Then the other wins the Royal Rumble, and you're thinking, ooh, hold on a second, these guys are already holding giant amounts of belts. What the hell are they doing winning the Royal Rumble and the King of the Ring, or something like that? Then they get to a point where It's just around WrestleMania time. That's when the antagonism and the cross-brand promotion obviously kicks in. I know there's Raw Super Show, but maybe a few years down the line there isn't one. And they then start realizing, you know what? I'm sick of you being on the other brand, telling everybody how great you are, when I have been on the other side telling it in the completely opposite way. Why don't we prove who is the best? And basically these two start bickering, start getting into a real fight about it, and start training their arsenal, taking it seriously. That these guys are now holding everything. They're now in the position where they need, this is the one fight to prove themselves. They've built it up by throwing it in each other's faces for the best part of a year. They've done everything they can. And it's now the time where they can build everything and make it to one match. A WrestleMania match. And that would be built up right. These guys would have enough momentum going in to make it a brilliant, brilliant match. Simple enough? Yes, because they could do a 40-minute match. They then say, okay, everything's on the line. Who is the undisputed best wrestler in the world? Phil Brooks, CM Punk, or Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan? Who is the best wrestler in the world based on all the stuff they've done in the past year, winning all those championships and all that bragging? Who is the best? And imagine, like I said, 40 minutes, WrestleMania main event, with what I would believe to be great intrigue from the crowd, great intensity to see that after most of a year worth of these guys bragging about why they're the best, winning almost everything, you could then say on that day that one of them will prove to be better than the other, and that would be unpredictable as hell. I would kill to see that, and it would put the match we saw on Monday this past week to shame, because it didn't, apart from these two being world champions facing each other, had no real sense of purpose, apart from filling out Raw. And that's sad, because this match idea, this way I would book of this feud, would definitely make it WrestleMania caliber. It would have to be built for a long time, have to endure a lot of patience and anger, I bet, from the wrestling world, because I bet the IWC would still have problems with it. Because you criticize Punk and Bryan equally now, so why the hell would you not criticize them later when they have everything on their shoulders? It would basically make great viewing from a sitting perspective here on the internet. And WWE could say we turned guys who are not ours into complete megastars because of this battle of one-upsmanship. Now, you all might be saying to me, it's not going to bloody work, right? You may be saying to me right now, this is stupid. And then it's a crackpot idea that is never going to happen. But then again, remember the motto. Anything can happen in the WWE. It's simple. I mean, it's the only way I could ever build this. And I was mulling it over, along with the nerves for my university interview on Tuesday. I was just not sure where to take this. And I believe I have finally been able to put it out. And Super WWE Fan 99, I hope this answers that proposed Q&A question, because I knew I needed more time for this one. And that's why I made a video out of it. Because it is something which, basically, WWE should do. It's something that I needed. I needed to do, because I love these two guys, Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. I like good wrestling. So I needed to mull it over, and I think I've managed to do something which I was a bit nervous of doing, which is thinking, how can I book this? And it's a good idea, I feel. I've done all right, knowing that they're both, as wrestlers, have a lot of limitations. That feud that I've just completely blurbed out in the last 14 minutes could be a possibility, but knowing WWE, they'd have to soak in some of the soap opera to make it more believable. I know they would. And that basically be how it's done, I guess. And guys, you know what? I'm going to finish right here. My face is killing me because I originally recorded this video and then it shut off midway and I was like, ah, no! But luckily I feel I've done a better vid now because I've managed to go through it and I've done alright. What do you think, guys? You have anything to say? There is a comment section down there, people. I've already mentioned it before. What are your views? What would you do in a CM Punk Daniel Bryan feud? How would you book that? Because in my case, I've only given them one match as the payoff. Would you put more matches in there? More confrontations? Put them in the elimination chamber with each other or something? I don't know. You put your comments down there, guys. And also, remember these 3 important things. Add me on Facebook. Search CreamCrazyWR on Skype. And also ask me Q&A questions, because this video would not have happened if it wasn't for that Q&A question asked me by Super WWE Fan 99. And you know what? I will have to say this. 3 questions per user, if you can think of 3. I'll be answering those on the 26th of February, the night after I see McFoley, and that should be awesome. Guys, I'm going to finish. I hope you've enjoyed this. And, well, next time I'll be with you is the Wednesday when I have an In the News bulletin to take care of. Should be good, because this thing is I did miss it last week. I have a lot of news ready to go. That should be fantastic. And after that, what have I got after this? I've got to scroll through all this news. This is great. You see, 12th of February, this is going to be one of my most passionate vids yet. And I'm going to love doing this one. 10 reasons why I am still a wrestling fan. Now, you IWC guys might be slightly annoyed at that. But, hell, you may tell me, holy crap, you're still a wrestling fan through all this shit. How? Well, that's what I'm going to be going on about next week. So guys, I've been Queen Crazy, you've been people watching, this has been my CM Punk Daniel Bryan feud booking video, and I will see you on Wednesday. Cheers.